That's right. Today is announcement day for Group A distributions for YieldMax. Stick around and let's see what they're going to pay out. Hello my friends, this is Legend. So YieldMax Group A announced their distributions today, and in Group A will be BRKC, Crash, Feet, 5E, GUI, OARC, RBLY, Snowy, Tesla, TSMY, Zomo, YBit, and then we'll also have the weekly pairs of CHPY, GPTY, LFGY, QDTY, RDTY, SDTY, ULTY, YMAG, and YMAX. And we'll also take a look at BIGY, RNTY, and SOXY as they did announce their distributions yesterday. So let's just go ahead and jump right into that and let's see what we're going to get paid out. All right, so here we are on the YieldMax Group A distribution list, and this comes out every Wednesday. The only difference is it does rotate from Group A to B to C to D and then back to A again. So we will receive one of these every single Wednesday. So this is for August the 6th, and this is for Group A. So let's just go ahead and dive right on in and start off with weeklies here. For CHPY, they'll pay out 38 cents. GPTY, 30 cents. LFGY with 43 cents. That's still a 63% distribution rate. Very nice. QDTY with 27 cents. RDTY with 24 cents. SDTY with 20 cents. ULTY with 10 cents. That's an 85% distribution rate. Very nice. YMAG with 7 cents. That's a little on the low side for sure. And YMAX with 14 cents, which is not too bad, but it is a little on the low side as well, as that is 56% distribution rate. So let's just go ahead and jump right over to the ones that are part of Group A that pay out every 4 weeks. And we'll start it right off here with BRKC with 61 cents, CRSH with 19 cents, Feet with $1.35, not too shabby, with a 50% distribution rate. 5E, $1.19, GUI with 44 cents, OARC with 37 cents, RBLY has not paid out this round. It will probably pay out next round, and that is a new one that they have released, and that is off of Roblox. So we'll have to wait another 4 weeks to see what they're going to pay out for RBLY. Snowy with 45 cents, Tesla with 30 cents, TSMY 95 cents. Right? That's a 76% distribution rate. Very nice. Zomo with 22 cents and YBit with 54 cents. That's a 65% distribution rate for that one. Now, keep in mind that this is the announcement date, which is August the 6th, a Wednesday. Thursday on the 7th will be the X date, meaning that you have to own the shares today in order to get that distribution that will be paid out on Friday, which is the payment date of 8/8, right? August the 8th. So you have to own those shares before the X date in order to get that payout. So LevG with that 63% distribution rate, that's a nice one. We got ULTY at that 85%. It's been hanging out around that same percentage rate and payout of 10 cents for the last quite a few payouts, right? That one has been quite steady on the payouts. Very nice for ULTY. Then we have a few 50% here, and of course then we have the TSMY with that 76% distribution rate, which is a pretty nice payout, right? So next week will be Group B. And in Group B, it will have those same weekly pairs along with BABO, DIPS, FBY, GDXY, JPMO, MARO, MARNY, NVDY, and PLTY. Now I have NVDY and PLTY along with YMAX. So hopefully we have a very nice distribution for NVDY and PLTY next week. Now let's just go ahead, since we're on the distributions here, let's just go ahead and see what yesterday announced for BIGY and SOXY. All right, so here we are looking at the announcement sheet for BIGY, RNTY, and SOXY for August the 5th. And these are the target 12 ETFs, okay? And they seek that 12% target annual income level. So that's why you'll see on these distribution rates, they stay right there at that 12%, as that is their target. So these here should be pretty steady as well. And as you can see, BIGY, and these are monthly, BIGY will pay out 50 cents, RNTY is going to pay out 50 cents, and SOXY is going to pay out 52 cents. And that all is at a 12% distribution rate. They had their X date was today on August the 6th, and the payout date will be Thursday, August the 7th. And that is for those three there, which are part of the target 12. So we should see pretty steady payouts for BIGY, RNTY, and SOXY as well. Now, of course, that distribution rate of 12%, it does have to deal with the actual price of the stock. So the actual payout amount could fluctuate a little bit, but that distribution rate so far has been staying right there on target. So that's a good sign for those three, if you have any of those. Now, just to let you know, I do have a few shares of BIGY and SOXY as well. For BIGY, I only have about 11 shares, so not too many. I bought them, and I've had them for a while now, and I really haven't bought any more of it, right? I got them when they first kind of came out around that time frame, and I just haven't purchased any more of it, right? So BIGY, I've got about 11 shares, and for SOXY, I have 9 shares. So not much to really write home about on those, but I do own a few shares of those two as well. So just to round the day off, let's just take a quick look at MSTY, MR, and Bitcoin just to get the update of where it went today. Okay, so here we are looking at MSTY, and as you can see, we did have a little bit of a green day today. It is overall trading sideways, right? It is staying right here in this area. We ended up opening today at 1836. We went as high as 1875 and as low as 1827 before closing at 1873. And if I flip it over to the adjusted chart, we can see where everything sets as far as on the Bollinger Band there. All right, now we're on the adjusted chart. As you can see, there's not a whole lot of difference there. We are still on that lower half of that Bollinger Band. That RSI2 is up, and you can see that the momentum bars are decreasing, and that spacing between the signal line and the MACD is tightening up. So that is a good sign, as we need that to tighten up so that we can start getting back to the green side of things for the MACD, right? And we'd like to see also that price to move back on up. I'd like to see it back in the 20s, but we'll see what happens, because currently Bitcoin is just kind of trading sideways. But let's just take a quick look at MR, and let's see where it's setting to help understand where MSTY could be going as well. So here we are on MR. And as I said before, the charts will look very similar. So you can see it is somewhat trading sideways. And if I wanted to draw in a line here for that support line, and we can use the bottom right here as that support line. And we'll just use the bottom of this red candle right here at 365.70. So let's just draw a line right here, and let's change the value to 365.70. And there we go. So now we are showing that support line at the bottom there, because we did come down, closed right near that bottom at that support. And the next day, of course, we did bounce off of it, right? We did start coming back down, but now we started going back up. So it is staying above this line. It is somewhat trading sideways. And if we zoom out, let's just see if this line has hit somewhere else in the past. And as you can see right over here, we have hit it a few times, right? We did go down slightly below it, but then jumped off of it, right? Same over here. We were teetering back and forth on it and then came off of it. Here, looks like we kind of bounced off of it, and over here we were bouncing on it. So I think this is a pretty good support line for the next one here for Mr. So now we are showing a support line of that 365.70, and we'll see, can we keep that? As you can see, the momentum bars here are decreasing. That's a good sign. The gap here between that signal and that MACD is tightening up. That's a great sign. And the RSI is moving up. So that's a great sign. So hopefully we can start getting some momentum, because we need that momentum in order to move this thing on up. It has just been kind of being a little stale here, as it's been right here in this area for the last few days. But we just need that momentum to turn around and those buyers to kick in and start pushing this on up. But what is the driving force of Mr.? That's Bitcoin. And here we are on Bitcoin. And like I said before, we are staying somewhat right here in this area. Now we are up in the seller area currently at the 115.1K. Now, this is a 24-hour deal, right, with Bitcoin. So there is no closing like at 4 o'clock, right? So as you can see, this one is still going, but we are in that seller area. It would be great if we can close out the day in that seller area and then start a new candle right here in that sell area and start busting right through those sellers. That would be a great sign. And we can get this thing moving on up, and then we can start adding a little bit of volatility, hopefully, to Bitcoin, so that we can get some volatility into Mr. and hopefully then eventually push our MSTY on up. You can see the momentum bars here are decreasing, and you can see better right here that that signal line and the MACD are closing, right? That MACD is flattening out, and that signal line here is still pointed down, but that MACD is flattening out. Hopefully, we can start moving that back up, cross over that signal line, and let's start seeing some green candles, right? Let's start seeing these green momentum bars. That would be what we all would love to see. So I think I'm going to wrap it up right there, and I appreciate everybody for sticking around and watching and getting your updates. But as always, this is not financial advice, and I am not a financial advisor. Please do your own due diligence before you get into any stock plays. And until next time, legend out.